Everybody, welcome. Listen, don't have long because we got another show that's about to come up. But I just came on to talk for a few minutes. Because once again, we got to talk about these mass shootings and just all kinds of craziness going on. So I'll take a few minutes to talk about that. But today, I actually had to go to, some of you may or may not be aware of, first of all, I live in Baltimore City and there's a mall here. It's called Mondawmin Mall. Shout out to my friends Honolyn and Eugene. I like rocking their shirt, Blind Money Underdogs. Shout out to those two really good friends of mine. But yeah, went out today. I had to go to Mondawmin, which I don't go over there a lot, but I had to go over there today because I had to do something there. And I wanted to start off talking about that because I'm just always amazed at how we are treated. Zip code means a lot. The zip code, the area that you live in, it means a lot. And depending on where you live and what your zip code is, you get treated a certain way. So today, let me turn this off for a minute. All right, go. So today, I'm over at Mondawmin, and I get really irritated when I'm in the store. Let me shop. Don't follow me. Don't be on my heels looking at me every 5 minutes. Let me shop. But I understand it. So, I handled some stuff over there that I had to do, and then was I walked through a little bit because I hadn't been there in a minute. I was like, let me just walk through and see what's in here. So I'm walking through, and I noticed the one store I went into was a beauty outlet store. And as soon as I walked in the door, the man's like, hey, how are you? Asian guy. I'm like, I'm good. I go through, I start walking. He's right there. And then I see the lady come from behind the counter. He's on one end of the aisle. And I look down the aisle. She's at the other end of the aisle. That irritates me to no end. Now I understand it. I get it. People come in there and I guess steal. But let me shop. So then I was like, you know what? Okay, you know what? Don't trip. Don't trip. Just keep shopping. So I'm shopping. So then I go over to another aisle and the lady is leaning over the countertop looking at me outside of the register, like hanging over the countertop. And I'm like, hey Von Banks, how are you? And I'm like, really? So, I grabbed what I had to get and I went over there, and I paid for it and I was really irritated. So, then, they have the little kiosk, little stores that are out in the mall area. And this lady, she was a black lady, had some really nice jewelry, necklaces. So I'm, walking past. I really wasn't stopping to look at it, but I'm just glancing over it. The moment it looked like I was going close to it, she jumped up and she started walking behind me real close. Now I'm a person, I don't like you in my space, unless I invite you, and we ain't in no relationship like that. So move back. So she's walking up on me, and I turned around, and looked. I was like, "Is everything good?" And she said, "Oh yeah, I just wanted to see if you wanted something." I'm like, no, I don't. Really, I don't, because like you walking up on me, you're my personal space. So she kind of looked at me, and I walked off. So now I was like, while I'm sitting here waiting, I'm gonna go in here and get a slice of pizza, and I'm just amazed at how we act. And then we wonder why people, and I'm talking about black people, and we wonder why people treat us the way that we do. So I'm sitting there, order a slice of pizza. First of all, when you go in there, you on a time limit. It's not like you can just sit in there. A lot of times I'll go into places, I grab something to eat, and I'm always working. Like I'm constantly working, on LadyJ Media, or I got meetings, or I'm networking or doing something like that. And I'm realizing, like, you know what, the guy kept coming from behind the counter looking at me, and I'm kind of in my peripheral vision, like I see him walking past, and then I heard him say, "Oh, yeah, she's done eating." And I'm like, really? Like, this is what y'all go through every day coming to my Diamond Mall? I would not be a patron at all at my Diamond Mall. Not at all. You wouldn't get any of my dollars because first of all, I'm treated like a criminal when I come in the door, when I come to the stores. You're not allowed to sit. There's really no place to sit. And then when you know, like I said, you're in there trying to eat and you have 30 minutes. And then after that, you're loitering. You got to get up and go out. And while I was sitting in there, and you know what I did? I sat there for about an hour because I said, I'm not loitering. I'm sitting here doing some work. I ate my pizza. I'm doing some work. I'm not leaving. I'm sitting right here until I'm ready to get up and walk out. That was my own personal protest because I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous that we have accepted this from and again, I understand it. So if you're a business owner, you know, don't come at me. I get it. But what I'm saying is that as a people, we have accepted that type of behavior and we're okay with with patronizing stores and then they're telling us how long we can sit and eat their food that we just paid for, and once your time is up they're kicking you out. That to me, like maybe because I grew up in a different area, you know, that right there, that doesn't work for me. You know, and then walking into a store and constantly being followed while you're in the store like you're a criminal, that does not work for me. And it was amazing to me that as I sat down, because I like to watch people, you know, anybody that knows me, you know, I love watching people. I love the dynamics of communication with people. And so I sat on, if anybody's been in my dom and there's a big waterfall thing and it has on there, do not sit here. So I sat there anyway because there's nowhere to sit, you know. So I sat there anyway, and I'm watching people walking past, and I'm looking at them going in and out of stores, and I'm looking at the people in the stores who were following them and looking at them all the way until they came out the door. And it's like, I'm thinking to myself, how are you okay with that? How are you okay with giving them your dollars? Are you limited to just going to my Diamond Mall? Can you not catch the bus and go to another area? Like, zip code means everything. Okay, zip code means everything. Where my parents live at, and I'm not going to say where they live, but where they live at, soap is not locked down. Okay, deodorant is not locked down. They don't have to get somebody to get a key and open up the glass door to get you soap, deodorant, shampoo. What was the other thing? Contact. My apologies, y'all. I had a phone call coming. But you don't have to go through that, okay, at those types of stores. That said, I don't go there anymore. I experience the same thing. You know, it's like it's ridiculous. And I'm looking at people, and there was a bunch of people at the mall. But I guess when that's all that you know and all that you're used to and you're conditioned to that type of behavior, it's normal for you. But I just wanted to get on here and say that ain't normal. You know, if I'm paying my dollars to patronize a store, a restaurant, or whatever, I don't want to be treated like a criminal when I'm just coming there to shop or eat at your place. And it's not just in Baltimore. I travel a lot. I see it in a lot of places where we as Black people are comfortable with that. We're okay with being treated like we don't belong there. To me, it's treating me like you just want my dollars and hurry up and get out of here. And that ain't cool with me. So, you know, I had that experience at Mondawmin today. And the other thing that I saw today was on one side of Mondawmin, you know, it's it's not a lot of people, you know, like people come in and they go. Like on the side where Bank of America is, and there's a shoe store over there. People kind of come in that way and they go back out. But if you go on the other side of the mall across from Douglas High School, man, people are hanging out, they smoking, they cussing, they almost fighting. Like, it is absolutely crazy. And I was just like, um, I was just like, what is going on? And why do we act like this? And why do we, in so many ways, to be honest with you, to be to be totally honest with you, in so many ways, I understand it. I truly do, because I'm not there every day. So I don't know how many times people have robbed their stores. And I know that even when the mall has been closed, people have broken into the store. They broke into Dunkin' Donuts. What was you getting out of Dunkin' Donuts? Some donuts? I don't understand. But the store was closed. One, I think it was last year, they broke in there and broke into a children's store and stole a whole bunch of stuff. So I get it. I understand. I'm just saying that we can't allow ourselves as Black people to get conditioned to that type of behavior. You're treated like a criminal. Um, and maybe that's all people know. Like I said, some people only know the end of their street. They only know what that looks like. They don't know that there's another place around the corner, or that there's another side of town, because unfortunately there are people who live in Baltimore, who live on the east side, that have never traveled on the west side, who live on the south side, never been on the north side, and vice versa. And for the life of me, I don't understand it, because it's just a bus ride, a cab ride, a car ride. I don't know how you live in a city and you have not been across town, or people tell me I'm scared to drive across town. What kind of, I don't get it. I mean, the mindset in this city sometimes it concerns me. It really does. I know people here who've never been to DC. I don't understand it. And you got four wheels and I don't. I don't get it. So I hope that, we as a people, not just in Baltimore, but in our inner cities, period, that we get to a point where we start changing our mindset and our behavior. Because as I was sitting in that mall and as I was sitting in that pizza place, I started to understand why they had a 30-minute limit. Every other person that came in there cussing, I mean loud, on the phone talking loud. And I'm thinking, who are you talking to that you have to talk this loud? And you got to use that language. And you stink. You smell like a bag of weed. Like why? And of course, they don't want you in their establishment with all of that, because other people may not want to come in. So you come get your food, you have a 30-minute window. Everything is cased in, glassed in. There's stores in the city where went to a store one day in the city, and I'm not gonna say where it is, but they're all over the city, where there's no contact with the person. Man, it's unreal. There's no contact with the store owner. They are really encased in bulletproof glass. You put your money in a little drawer. They pull the drawer back. They put your little things that you bought in the drawer, and they slide the drawer back open to you. There's a KFC like that. And I was like, what in the world? Like, that's why I said the other day, I can't do it anymore for so many reasons. I can't do any inner city anymore. I just can't. The inner city living is just like, no, I can't do it anymore. Could be an age thing, I don't know, but it's a no for me. The mindset of the people, when you get to a point that you accept being treated like that, that's a problem. Because people are going to forever come into your community, make money off of you, and go build where they are. Because the majority of these people that these Asian people and all these other people that have these little nail shops and stores and stuff, they don't live in the inner city. They got beautiful homes. I've been to some of their homes. They don't live in Baltimore. And, it's like they will come into the city because they understand the mentality of the city. They understand that they will have everything that you need, everything you want to purchase, anything that you want done, any type of wig, outfit that you want, bag that you want. They're going to have it because they know that we want to take our last dollar and we're going to give it to them so we can look good and walk around and still don't have anything. See, nobody going to tell y'all that. I'm telling you. because that needs to change. That mindset needs to change. This is why you can't. This is why you can't grow. This is why you can't build, because a lot of people, before they think about, oh, maybe I should save and buy a house, or maybe I should save and move to a nicer apartment in another neighborhood. No, you getting on buses with Prada bags and designer shoes, and you on the bus. What in the world? Like, come on. You know, I'm just like the Bible says, people want to perish for the lack of knowledge. And some people got knowledge and they still want to perish. You know, styling and profiling ain't cool when you don't have no money, and when you living in a place that's not fit for animals. You know, and so I just pray for my people, because when I sat in that mall today, and I purposely sat in there a little longer just to watch and just to see people, and to see that they are so conditioned to that type of behavior and treatment that it was nothing to them. And me, on the other hand, it bothered me really bad. It really, really bothered me. And I don't want any parts of it. And I will not, they won't get any of my money. Because when I go into the store, I want to be able to go to the store and shop like everybody else. But zip code means everything. The zip code where I live, the zip code where Mondawmin is at, that's how you get treated. And so until you remove yourself from that zip code and from that area, you will forever be treated like that. Now, I fall into the zip code because where I live at is not bad, but it's a big, zip codes are big. And so, you know, I fall into that area unless I go way on the other side. But I just wanted to say that, like, we got to get to a place, people, I'm talking to black people. We got to get to a place, like, I love my people, but sometimes we just too accepting, and we just too okay with being mediocre. And being mediocre, that wasn't allowed in my house. And I didn't allow it in my house, and I don't allow it with myself. So if I'm going somewhere and I'm being treated a way that I don't feel like I should be treated, I'm out of there. I'm done. There's nothing you can do or say for me. And so I hope that if you do frequent Mondawmin Mall, that the next time you walk up in there, you remember LadyJ's voice, that you don't have to be treated that way. You don't have to be in the store spending your hard-earned money and people are looking at you like you're about to steal something. You don't have to go through that. You don't. That's up to you. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Let me see these comments real quick. John says zip code also dictates, I need my glasses, shoot. Oh yeah, he said zip code also dictates the education residents will receive. You are absolutely correct, because the schools I went to, let me tell you something. Growing up, my schools had everything. I went to Jewish schools, I went to white schools. They had everything. And then I had friends of mine who went to inner city schools, and they were looking at me like I was crazy because we were doing certain things at our school. I mean, everything that I can think of, we had it at our school. So yeah, zip code means everything. And like I said, where my parents live at, I love being there because you can go to the store, go in the store freely. We were actually, my son and I were at the mall, and they had designer $300, $400, $500, $600 sunglasses just sitting out there. And the guy is over, you know, he's at his cash register. Can I help you guys? I'm like, no, we just looking. And I looked at my son. I was like, this is absolutely amazing. We're allowed over here because of zip code to pick the sunglasses up, try them on. And he walked over, he said, you know, if you need anything, let me know. All I ask is that you, when you finish, just drop them into the box, the ones that you try on. I'm like, okay. Now over here, everything is on lockdown. I was looking at an ankle bracelet that was $7.99, y'all. They had it locked up. $7.99. I said, let me get up out of here. Me and my wallet. Let me get up out of here. Because see, they doing too much. That's too much. So anyway, enough about Mondawmin Mall. But I hope the next time y'all go to Mondawmin Mall or any other mall or store in the inner city, that you will think about that before you spend your hard-earned dollars supporting other people that's taking your money to build up their family and their homes and all the stuff that they're doing. I'm done with that. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is what did I have on here? Oh yeah, there was another shooting. I know I'm a little late. I was tired this week, had a lot of stuff to do, and like I told y'all before, until we deal with mental illness, we're going to keep hearing about mass shootings because United States doesn't believe that we have a mental health crisis. So they just allow the news reporters to report the stories that there's been another mass shooting, and then we go to bed and we go to the next thing. But until we get to a place in America where we understand that people are suffering and people are dealing with mental illness like they've never dealt with it before, and a lot of people are struggling with mental illness who've never dealt with depression, anxiety, suicide, none of it. They've never dealt with it before. But because of the circumstances and things that have happened after COVID, people losing their jobs and illnesses and all kinds of things, people are suffering mentally. So this young man, uh, you know, disrupted a parade. I'm like, you can't go to a parade anymore? Okay, we can't go. Now we got to add that to the list. Can't go to church. Can't go to a grocery store. Can't go to a parade. It's just like after a while, we just going to be locked down, not because of COVID, but because people are going to be so afraid to go anywhere. And then you got the crime that's off the chain in the city. So people are really afraid. And I was watching the news, and some of the people were saying like they're not coming outside anymore for parades and stuff like that. They're just going to stay and they're going to go to work and they're going to come home. And life was never designed to be like that, where we're so afraid that we can't even, go and enjoy a parade, go to the circus, go to stuff like that. But this young man apparently had plans to not only shoot over there, but to go shoot another place as well, and came to the parade dressed up like a female. And I'm like, you know, mental illness is real. I'm not making an excuse for the young man, but I'm just saying that we have to do something. The United States, Mr. Biden, whenever he wakes up, because he seems like he takes a lot of naps. I really don't know what's going on with him, but whenever he wakes up, maybe he will help us with something. But we got to deal with this mental health crisis. And John says the media coverage. He said exactly the media coverage of shootings almost normalize the violence. We need to wake up and address mental health. Exactly. And nobody wants to talk about it. It's very few people. You'll hear people, the time that they do talk about mental illness is when stuff like that happens. You can pop on the news, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, everybody, they're talking about mental health, and they got mental health professionals on there. As soon as their story dies down and simmer down, we don't hear anything about mental health. And meanwhile, the next person is planning how they're going to attack and blow up something and shoot somebody. So all I can say is prepare and, be on guard, watch your back, because it's going to happen again. That's all I can say. I can't be positive and say it's not going to happen, because it's going to happen again. You have a lot of copycat killings. You have people who, in their mind, they create this scenario in their mind where it's okay and they can do it and it's going to be fun. Mental illness is something that we should not play with. And we can call people crazy. We can say whatever we want to say about them. But until we address the issue, these things are going to continue to happen. And I keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. I hope somebody gets it one day, even in our cities. We don't address it in our cities. And we wonder why people in the city are going crazy. Because nobody's addressing the mental health crisis. Nobody. And then maybe the couple or two people that are doing it, they can't do it alone. It can't be a one man or one woman show. Like elected officials, this is something that really needs to be on the agenda and not just talked about when we're going through the time to vote. There can't be the time when you're out here running for office when you're talking about mental illness, mental health crisis. No, we need you to not only talk about it at this point in time, We need you to talk about it when you get into office, and not just talk about it. We need you to be about it. So that's all I have to say about that, because got another show. Let me see what time it is. We got another show. That's going to be coming up 7:49. So last thing I wanted to jump on real quick, and y'all stay tuned when I go off, because Chad is coming on, and I love Chad's show because Chad is so real. He's a veteran, and I think he has a guest tonight, but Chad is like super real, and I love what he talks about. So he's going to be on right after I finish. Normally John Hansborough, I was named John Falco. Normally John Hansborough is in this spot, but he's going to be coming on tomorrow night because he had something else to do today. So I'm just sitting here, and this will keep me from having to do this at 9 and 10 o'clock. I can relax. But anyway, last thing. Should Christian people be friends with gay people? Now, let me tell y'all something about this, because I'm a little bit irritated. I thought that gay people were people too. And let me tell you, they just celebrated Gay Pride Month, which was last month. And people have said to me that Christians and pastors have said this to me as well. We should not be associated or friends with gay people. That kind of irks my spirit a little bit, because they're people too. They have chosen to live a lifestyle that you may not agree with. And what I want to say is, a lot of us are doing things that the other person doesn't agree with. They call it a sin. And I personally have quite a few gay friends, male and female. I look at them as people. We have our conversations. I am not interested in the same sex. I love men. Love men, black men. I'm definitely not interested in the same sex. But I don't ostracize them. I don't treat them bad. I don't make them feel any kind of way because they're gay. Now, I've had pastors tell me that I'm wrong for being like that. And in other words, they didn't say it in these words, but what they were really saying to me is almost like you need to take that Bible and slap them upside their head and let them know that what they're doing is wrong. Here's what I want to say to everyone. And this is something that I've learned to do in my life. I don't argue. Now, I used to. Not going to lie. I used to argue with fuss. I used to do it. In my younger days, I was firecracker. But as I've gotten older and matured, what I have learned is sometimes kindness outweighs running your mouth all the time, saying things you shouldn't say. Being kind. Being quiet. If you know how to pray, pray and let God handle situations. And what I've learned in my life is to be kind to everybody. Doesn't matter what color you are, what gender you are, what you've done. I have learned to be kind. And the only thing that I can do in this life is show the people love, show them kindness, but also let them understand that I am a Christian. I never shy away from that. That I am a Christian. I love God. I have certain beliefs. I have certain values that doesn't matter if you're gay or not, you may not agree with it. And I'm okay with that. But I try to treat everybody with respect. And I don't throw the Bible at people who are not gay because I believe your life can be a living testimony and your life can speak way louder than the Bible because you can read to people all day. You can read to people. You can talk to them all day. You can preach to them all day. But you know what people are going to be doing? They're going to be watching you. They're going to be watching how you carry yourself. They're going to be watching to see if you practice what you preach. They're going to be watching you to see if you're about what you talk about. That's what people are going to be doing because we live in a society and we live in a day and age now where people like for you to keep it real. So they're not about a whole bunch of books like it was when I was little. You know, you read books and you follow with the people are looking at your life. And so I don't discriminate with gay people, inmates, ex-offenders, people that have done the craziest things. I don't discriminate. I try to show love to everybody. And hopefully the love that I show to people will allow us to have certain conversations. And those are always private conversations between that person and myself. Because here's the thing. When I hear pastors saying, you know, the Charlene, LadyJ, or whatever, you shouldn't be associating with gay people. Or how are you friends with gay people when you know that that gay man is wrong or that gay woman is wrong? I'm always the kind of person that I always say to people, you don't know where a person has been. As a matter of fact, you don't even know where they are in that moment because people can show you one thing on the outside and they can be something else. Something else can be going on in the inside. So I never come at people with the Bible throwing it at them because I'm the chap and the pastor. No, I come to you with kindness. And once I talk to you and we start conversing and I find out where you are, then maybe we can have some deeper conversations. Then maybe I can tell you how I feel about certain things. I have gay friends that we have talked about everything, including religion. And you know what? When it's all said and done, we're still friends. I still love them. I don't care if they're gay. I still love them. The one thing I respect about a lot of them is that they say who they are. What I don't respect is people who are Christians and you're still in the closet. And I said this a while back when I was doing my baptism. If you're in the closet, come on out. Be who you are. And stop condemning other people. At least they came out and they're saying this is who I am. And I got to respect them for that. And so, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, should Christians be friends with gay people? I can only speak for me. I'm definitely a Christian, a woman of God, and God has blessed me immensely. He continues to bless me, and He knows that I have gay friends. And somehow He just continues to keep pouring out the blessings because at the end of the day, it's not about me condemning those people. It's about me showing them some love. Now, if they decide through me showing them love that, they want to stay gay or they don't want to be gay anymore, I still love them. Because like I said, we have private conversations. I never come on to this camera and sit here and condemn gay people because if I condemn gay people, I have to condemn other people. I have to condemn people who may be sex addicts. I have to condemn thieves. I have to condemn liars. I have to condemn pastors who say one thing but doing another. So I don't sit on the camera and condemn people. What I do, as I said, is I show people love. And then we have a conversation. And in our private conversations, we talk about those things. And that's what I would encourage other people to do. Because Chad said, what is without sin? Can you and say, give me some more on that, Chad, And John Falco said Jesus hung out with a rough crowd, love the sinner. Thank you, John. Love the sinner, hate the sin. Love the sinner, hate the sin. And so, John, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Love the sinner, hate the sin. Chad, if you could just elaborate on that a little bit more. And then I'm about to get off because Chad's show is about to start. But Chad said, is without sin. I'm not sure what he meant with that. But again, he said, let me see something. Let me see what he said. He said, you said it for me. Okay. Because the Bible says, he who is without sin cast the first stone. And I could sit here all night and ain't none of y'all gonna be able to cast the stone because we all have sinned. We were born in sin and shapen in iniquity. Read your word. And pastors who feel like it's wrong, that just irks me. And I said to a pastor, we were having a really deep conversation. And he said, oh, no. We don't have any gay people in my church. I said, let me tell you something. I said, without going into detail, you definitely have gay people in your church because I talked to them and they told me they're gay. They just don't want you and your parishioners to know. And he argued me down that there are no gay people and then said, well, tell me who it is. I said, absolutely not. But here's what you need to understand, sir. While you're sitting here saying that you have no gay people in your church like it's leprosy, like they have leprosy, you're wrong and you're out of order. You are out of order. Now, if you have gay people in your church, how are you going to handle that? Because like I told him, I know who they are. We've had conversations. But I would never put it out to him. I would never put it out into the atmosphere because that's not what I do. But I said, I promise you, you have gay people in your church. And I said, not only that, sir, you have men in your church who are messing with other women and it's not their wife. So when we start condemning and we start saying this ain't happening here and it ain't happening there, like the Bible says, woe unto you. And I would encourage everybody, if you say that you're a Christian, the God that I serve, the Jesus that I love, and John said it best. Jesus didn't show up in suits and ties. They probably didn't have them back then, but whatever the attire was that was fresh back then, he didn't show up with all of that on. Jesus walked the streets. He didn't pull up in no decked out horse and carriage. He walked the streets and he dealt with the people in the streets and he dealt with people where they were. Somehow along the way, things got twisted up and people had to ride. They got to ride in Bentleys now and airplanes and flying from one church to the other church. And they got to have all Rolls Royce and all these kinds of things and fat wallets and big suits and clothes that are tailor made. We got to do all of this to come to church now. That's why you're coming up with we shouldn't be with gay people because y'all doing everything but reading your word. Go read the Bible. Because if you read the Bible and you read your word, that is not what Jesus was teaching us. And he was an example, had his feet on the earth. He was an example of what we are supposed to be doing as parishioners, pastors, chaplains, archbishops, priests, whatever. He was the example. So I don't listen to people. Be gone. I don't listen to people who are talking about you shouldn't be around gay people. Well, maybe you shouldn't be with some of these women that's not your wife. Or some of these men that's not your husband. And I'm not telling or talking about what somebody told me. I'm talking about some of the things that I have seen. and kept my mouth shut. And I'm going to continue to keep my mouth shut because if I put your name out there, it's going to be almost like World War III when people know about it. But y'all better get it together. And that's what happens when you start feeling like your stuff ain't going to be put on blast. And when you start feeling like you're so high and mighty in Christ, ain't nobody high and mighty in Christ. Nobody. We're all sinners. We're all sinners. We're all sinners. Born in sin, shapen in iniquity. And we all got to go through the same route to get to heaven. Pastor's prayers don't get to heaven any quicker than mine. And so I'm going to baptize y'all again pretty soon. Because, you know, some of the pastors, they just out of order. And I'm going to keep baptizing you until you get it together. Because some of you did not learn anything from the pandemic. Nothing. And to still come after the pandemic and be talking about the same foolishness and doing some of the same foolish things, let me tell you something. God is not pleased. And when God has had enough, he's going to shut it down and roll out the carpet for everybody to see. And you don't want that to happen. So as he's giving you grace to get it together, close your mouth, read your word, and go minister to the people. If you have a problem with Christians being around gay people, go minister them. Minister to them. They don't bite. Gay is not something that's going to rub off on you and you're going to be gay. Stop the madness and go do what God has called you to do as a Christian, as a pastor, as a leader. We are supposed to go out, reach and teach and preach the word, to preach to all the world, the gospel. Preach the gospel to all the world. Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel. God didn't say just preach it to this person and don't preach it to that person or don't tell that person. He said go into all the world. That means I'm going to run across every type of sinner. And the biggest sinner that I'm going to run across is myself when I look in the mirror every day. Your suits and your fine dresses and fancy hats don't exempt you from being a sinner. And we all have done stuff in our lives that we're only sitting here in a great place because of the grace of God. So stop the madness. And if you don't deal with gay people and you don't love gay people, how do you expect God to love and still care for you? He will, because that's the God he is. But don't think that he's pleased. Let him deal with those people. You be the light. You be the vessel that he works through so you can talk to those people. And any other people out here. We have people who don't like to deal with the homeless. You be the light. You be the vessel. That's all he's asking us to do. I am done. That's all I have to say about that. Stay tuned because Empathic Perspectives with Chad is coming up. He's a veteran, y'all. Let me tell you something. Chad keeps it all the way real. Thank you, Yvette. She said, absolutely, we must be the light. We must be the light. And some of y'all need prayer because your light is dim and some of your lights have gone all the way out and you don't even know it because you think you're shining. So anyway, that's all LadyJ has to say for tonight. And I'm so glad, I don't want to say I'm glad John didn't come on tonight, but I get to not have to come on at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Y'all have a good night. Have a great night. Love everybody. Ain't that what it's about? Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Please make sure that you share the video. All right, y'all. Good night.